Island Policy Lab, strategizing island futures at the Science Policy Diplomacy Interface.
We're all going to be impacted by climate change. But island states, countries, and territories are on the front lines of climate impacts. From sea level rise to more intense extreme weather events, there's going to be loss of life, livelihood, in the very futures of these island geographies. For us islanders, climate change is really a wicked problem. On the policy front, there are a number of areas that we're doing work on that still needs a lot of work. For one, there's a significant gap between climate financing for adaptation and mitigation. Adaptation being very important for island countries. A second area is the international community's lack of cohesion around loss and damage principles and policies. Thirdly, we need to settle on metrics that will help us to measure the impact or even the return on investment for climate financing going to climate adaptation and resiliency building efforts. Fourth, we need policies that help us to fast-pace new technology adoption and innovation, including data-driven tools that will help decision makers in island countries. And we have to do all of this very fast, but also respecting the uniqueness of our islands and our island communities and the vast diversities of the people and the ecosystems. Friends, this is going to take all of us in the research community. And we all have to be working on what I like to call the Science Policy Diplomacy Interface. This is exactly the role of the UD Island Policy Lab. Let's hear what some of our expert collaborators have to say.
The latest IPCC report indicated that the global surface temperature will continue to increase. In fact, global warming of 1.5 and 2 degrees Celsius will be exceeded unless urgent and timely actions are taken. Along with many countries, small island developing states are vulnerable to climate change. Hot extreme conditions, heavy precipitation, and associated flooding events are projected to become more intense and frequent. It is worth noting that data are limited on small island developing states, and therefore it might be useful to have a special report focusing on small island developing states in the future.
Continued relative sea level rise is very likely in the ocean around small islands, and along with storm surges and waves will exacerbate coastal inundation with the potential to increase saltwater intrusion into aquifers in small islands. Life on islands is very much on danger, and we really need to act now to mitigate climate change and also to work on adaptation measures for these places.
There should be no doubt in anyone's mind that we must act now from a policy, programming, professional, and personal perspective. Climate change is going to impact how we live, our housing, what we eat, how we travel, and how we work, and so much more. This is a call to action to all governments, practitioners, and the public to take action in climate change adaptation and mitigation. Our collective well-being and future depends on it.
Many islands face similar vulnerabilities due to their small size and remoteness, but they have managed to build resilient societies and economies. The IPCC report confirms the likely increase of extreme events in islands, in settings which are already prone to multi-hazards. This will create disproportionately higher socioeconomic disruptions for islanders. Research often neglects this, and our work tries to fill this gap.
When it comes to confronting this climate emergency, we have to be united. We are island first and we are stronger together.